Yo, whether you watching this, Facebook, Twitter, click the link in my Instagram or YouTube itself. What up, world? I want to welcome y'all, man. My very first ever spoiler video. We talking spoilers through and through. If you haven't seen Avengers Infinity War, man, my spoiler-free video is on my channel. Go check that out first. Watch the movie, come back, and then watch this video. For a couple miles down the road around my way, I got my man Adrian in Indiana. I got my dog, old man Lawrence. And in New Jersey, y'all know him, man. My dog, Legacy, Javon Merritt, whatever you want to call him, man. But just, I don't know, man. Y'all want to go the entire runtime, or y'all just want to talk about highlights? You want to get complaints out of the way first?
You might as well just start from the beginning, man, because the movie, it kind of kicked off like right away.
Yeah.
Right into some shit.
Basically, it was the aftermath of the Thor Ragnarok post-credit scene, and it immediately establishes Thanos as the most savage villain of all 19 MCU movies, and he come out there wiped out the Asgardians, Loki, Heimdall, R.I.P., and Hulk got bodied, and that shit, it was a perfect kickoff to me, man, because I was just, it was crazy. It was crazy, man. What y'all think about that opening scene on the Asgardian ship?
I just wish Hulk would have gave him a better fight. I just wish that little fight scene was a little bit longer, even though Thanos would have came out on top. You know, it's a Hulk, you know, but Thanos said his presence. He made his presence felt with Hulk, and that's just my opinion on that from the beginning. It was Loki's time to go already. You know, so many backstabbings already, so many tricks in play. So he can come back from that death, you know, faking his death all the time. But it was good. I enjoyed it. I liked that one scene.
Jake?
Yeah, I dug it a lot too, man. I kind of agree. I wish Hulk and Thanos would have went at it a little bit longer. But like he said, Thanos would have destroyed him anyway. So I understand. And plus the runtime, I understand why they had to kind of cut it short.
Yeah.
When it comes to Loki, man, I'm glad to see him go. He's annoyed me for like 4 movies too long now. He's annoying as hell. I thought Thor was a badass in that scene, and I thought Thor was a badass throughout the whole movie. In my opinion, well, you know, getting a little bit ahead of myself, he was probably the star of the movie. I thought the opening scene was really dope.
Yeah.
Kind of set the stage for Thanos and let people know from the beginning that he's really about to tear some shit up. Because we had, 3 people, 2, I guess, well, all of the Asgardians, Heimdall, however you say his name, Loki, you had people get wiped out. Main characters get wiped out within like the first 10 minutes of the movie. It was crazy.
Yeah. Merritt?
I love the opening scene. There was one thing about the opening scene I was disappointed about, and that was that the scene opened with most of the Asgardians already dead. Like, I kind of would have wanted to see it open with him doing some of that before the Hulk scene, before the, Thor, before him killing Loki. Like, when it opened with all of them already dead, it would have been kind of cool to see him just wreck shop on the ship and then, all that. But, I mean, they opened it and it was dope, and the way that they, I think they came up with a strategy of, okay, how are we going to introduce Thanos and prove that he's a big bad from the very beginning? And they did that by
taking out the Hulk.
Much just because we got to forget that Loki is not a human. So the fact that Thanos could just pick him up with one hand and choke him to death like that is not just, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like once the Hulk raged out, he got some good licks in that kind of like said, all right, the Hulk, if he really get angry, could hold his own a little bit before, he pretty much just got destroyed and got scared. But I think the Hulk fighting Thanos is going to happen again, and Hulk is going to do a lot better the next time. Because the angrier he gets, the stronger he gets. So I see that coming around again.
Yeah, because the producers, Kevin Feige, different people behind the scenes have said that Hulk has like a little 3-chapter arc between Ragnarok and these 2 Avenger movies. And, he was on top of the world when he was on Sakaar with Jeff Goldblum. And he was untouchable, didn't want to go back to being Banner. No Banner, only Hulk. And then you know, Thanos had him shook, so he got performance issues, whatever you want to call it, and so he's got to redeem himself. I don't know what to refer to it as, man. He gotta redeem himself in Avengers 4, and then what Heimdall opens up was.
I kind of was wondering how in Ragnarok Hulk said that it's usually him and Banner on the steering wheel in the car, but this time he was in the back seat. So I was kind of wondering, is that taking effect on him in this movie? That's why he wouldn't want to come out, or was he just scared? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I think he was scared, but like I was doing the math, like rewatching a couple movies over the last week. When Black Widow drop kicked him into that pit in Ultron, he hulked out, and he didn't go back to Banner until he saw her on the ship when Thor was trying to get away in Ragnarok. So like 2 straight years he was hulked out. So, but yeah, like I think he was just shook. And then he gotta, like, once he realized everybody disappeared in the next movie, he's gotta come out and, you know, save the day, be one of the heroes along with all the survivors, Captain Marvel, Iron Man, Cap, and all them. But what Heimdall opened up the Bifrost, yeah, and got Hulk to Earth, lands in Doctor Strange's crib, the Sanctorum, whatever you call it, and that's what was dope to me. Every time Banner saw anybody, he was terrified. And that goes a little way to like explaining who Thanos is, and he was shook every time. Thanos was a bad dude all this time. When Thanos came to Wakanda, Cap, that's him. And then how he was having to explain how they was telling there's an Ant-Man and a Spider-Man now. And then at the same time, Hulk, Thor, because he thinks Banner thinks Thor's dead. Everybody thinks Thor's dead. And but Thor goes, you know, he ends up linking up with the Guardians, and even that was funny. Thor like face planting on the ship, and what did Drax say? He's like, that's not a man. That's a beautiful specimen or whatever he said.
You're a man. You're a regular.
Not a dude.
Yeah. That's not a dude. Yeah, the humor was real simple, but it was effective, man.
I'm gonna say this though. Because I've watched some reviews and I've been watching and I've looked at a lot of comments and stuff, and a lot of people don't like the Hulk really didn't show up in the movie or whatever. And me personally, I loved it. Because a reference to DC though, sort of like on the Flash, you know, with Frost. You know how she's always like, you know, tried to like avoid having Killer Frost come out or whatever. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like, in the Flash, like, she's always, like, hated her and didn't want her to come out. And now, like, at this point, she's sort of, like, she's accepted it and she wants it back. You know what I mean? It's, like, a part of her. But they're, like, it's defined as, like, they're two different people inside one body. And I feel like this was the movie where, like you know, Banner kind of has come to terms with the Hulk being a different person inside of him. Like, he talks to him like it's somebody totally different. And I thought that was dope that the Hulk didn't come to save Banner this time. Banner had to actually use his wit to survive the whole movie. You know what I mean? Like, he had the Hulkbuster suit, but it was more his wit that was carrying him rather than the Hulk being mad and, you know, saving him all the time.
Wasn't the Hulk in the trailers, though?
Yeah, like that's what me and Mary was talking about that shit earlier. That scene in Wakanda, it was Cap, Black Panther, what's Michonne's character name? Okoye, Bucky, War Machine, Falcon, and Hulk. They're all like running at the screen like it's just about to be a big fucking battle. And that scene wasn't even in the movie. There's a lot from the trailers that wasn't in the movie.
I really thought that they were gonna. I really thought once all those whatever those things were or whatever, once all of them jumped on the Hulkbuster suit, I kind of thought
I thought he was gonna Hulk out.
That happened was gonna out, but it didn't. And like honestly, I'm not mad that he didn't become the Hulk in this movie because I kind of like that he's coming to terms with it.
Yeah.
And that he's gonna be able to change at will rather than being forced. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I like that too.
The Hulkbuster seemed like it was nerfed a little bit because when they first busted out the Hulkbuster, it seemed like it was unstoppable. But I felt like the Hulkbuster got handled pretty easily. It seemed like they wrecked that shit pretty easily. I was kind of surprised about that.
But you got to think like that ain't Tony in there. Like Tony is like he does Iron Man.
Yeah, it's true.
That's true. So you just this is
he's right there pushing wrong buttons and shit.
Yeah. was in there for the first time. That's why he took off running and tripped over his own feet and shit. Like,
yeah, it's like the Hulk, but not.
That's a good point.
Yeah, then he just falls down. So
And then what y'all wanna touch on Thor meeting up with the Guardians and their interaction? Like
that shit was hilarious, man.
Yeah.
Him and Peter Quill, that was
Star-Lord started trying to like, Quill, are you making your voice deeper? No, this is my regular voice. And then what he's
a coffee game.
That was hilarious. I like that. I thought it was also funny that Quill is like the leader of the what you call it? What are they? I forgot.
the Guardians.
For the Guardians, like he's the leader of the Guardians, but nobody ever listens to him.
No, Rocket been cutting his dick off like 2 straight movies.
Yeah, man.
They don't
Rocket
listen to
tapped into that shit.
They were like, all right, guys, we're gonna go left, and then they all just get up and go right.
Yeah.
Like you're like your other left. You know what I mean? Like I thought I think that's funny. And Rocket, like he always just
Yeah, because they went to nowhere. Who it was everybody except all the Guardians except Rocket, Groot, and they were with Thor. Everybody else goes to nowhere to try to get the Reality Stone, the Ether, from Thor: The Dark World. Thanos is already there. He's got the Collector dead to rights, and when Gamora attacked and kind of stabbed him, I didn't really think it was the stone playing trickery, but I knew Thanos wasn't dead. I don't know how to explain it, but I really dug that scene because Gamora still kind of cared for him.
What's the backstory on that little blade that she had? Is that some kind of like special metal or something that I don't know about? Because it seemed like it like penetrated Thanos like pretty easily. I mean, granted it was just a mirage or whatever, like he's playing with reality.
Which
but,
one?
What gave her the confidence was to run up on Thanos with a little pocket knife? You know what I mean? Like it had to be some kind of like special blade or something.
That little dagger that had like 2 blades on each end?
Yeah,
but he gave it to her.
Thanos is one of the baddest entities in the whole Marvel universe. She runs up on him with a pocket knife. Like it had to be some kind of special. You know what I mean?
Well, they showed when he was wiping out her home planet, he gave it to her. It's like explaining balance and all that.
Yeah, but it has to be something special.
That's all I know.
Maybe it's some metal that comes from his original planet. So maybe it's something
from Titan.
Yeah, it's probably from his planet.
I thought she stabbed him with a different knife that she usually carries on her. I didn't think it was a pocket knife.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying pocket knife, like being.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. She had like her sword. I thought she got like 2 hits in.
I thought she had that sword. I thought she stabbed him with that little sword.
You gotta pick your screen up a little bit, man. There you go.
She hit him like real quick though.
Yeah.
Like it was one of those things where she actually could fight him for real.
Yeah, I think she got him in the abdomen and then she like slit his throat too, right?
Yeah, they show like how good of a combat fighter she is. Like,
yeah, she's supposed to be one of the deadliest chicks in the universe.
Yeah, she got quit. Dog, I thought I'm probably going way ahead, but I thought the fight with just the girls, like they had Black Widow, then they had
Scarlet Witch,
and then the girl from Wakanda, whatever. I thought the fight was dope too.
Yeah.
I thought that was very dope. Because the women warriors of Marvel are very, very dope.
Yeah, you jump way ahead.
Woman. They're not as powerful as like a Wonder Woman. They don't have that kind of strength or whatever. But they hold their own in every fight. It's dope. It's very dope.
Jumping back to the whole nowhere scene, like Quill and Gamora had that exchange. Like if it comes down to it, promise on your mom, you're gonna kill me. It took a lot, but Quill pulled the trigger.
Yeah.
Quill pulled the trigger.
Blew some damn bubbles, man.
Hell yeah. And that's what, like, I don't know, like, I was into it, but it caught me off guard. Like, when he shot and bubbles come out, I was just, did he grab the wrong fucking gun? What is this?
That's what I thought at first, too.
and then, like, you see the gauntlet and the red stone is lit up. It's like, man, Thanos, that's what's dope. Like, everybody kind of universally thinks that Thor: The Dark World is like the least liked Marvel movie, and that's the one that had the reality gem. But the reality gem, I think, got the most. Like when he keyed into specific stones, the reality gem got the most shine.
Yeah,
and that was real dope to me because when he was explaining Doctor Strange, his whole like motivation for like wiping out half of existence, he was showing how his home planet originally looked, and fucked with reality again and all that, and that was real cool to me too.
I thought that scene of Quill, shooting Gamora or whatever, or trying or whatever, was dope. I thought it was dope because like he pulled the trigger and then nothing but bubbles came out, but him pulling the trigger at all made Thanos respect him.
Yeah.
Like when he was like, I like you. Like it was like a dad approving of boyfriend. Like, you know what I mean? Like it was such a dad, because he sees himself as like Gamora's dad or whatever.
Yeah.
But he was, I like you, like a dad would approve a boyfriend or something. Because when he first showed up, he was like, oh, it's the boyfriend. Like, you know what I mean? I thought that was kind of dope, like how they played off that. And the whole Gamora and Thanos relationship is dope to me too. Like the way they played it, and then like they did the backstory or whatever, but the way they continued it, like he never, like you could tell he loved her because he never threatened her or anything. Like he never threatened to kill her.
Yeah.
Like even when he took her, he was like, if this stone is not up here, I'm gonna kill your sister. He never threatens her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he actually loved her that much. Like he would never do that to her.
Because Gamora made Quill, agree to kill her. Because I don't know what the exact dialogue was, but somebody mentioned the Soul Stone, and Gamora kind of like made just like facial movements or something like that. Her body language changed, and just right then, like I knew, and like my wife knew too. She's like, man, she knows where the Soul Stone is.
Yeah, I knew. Yeah, I knew right at that moment.
Yeah, what movie was that where she got that map or whatever and burned it? I couldn't remember what movie that was in.
I don't know if that was in a movie, was it?
She said she got the map and she burned it. I'm sitting there thinking like, what movie was that in?
Yeah, I don't think that was in either Guardians movie.
I think that was just something she said.
Yeah.
Like I think that was something like she said, like she made, like when she did say that she knew where it was or whatever, she was just like, I found it and I burned it. Like I don't know where it is anymore or something.
Just like when they go to get the stone, and spoiler video, Red Skull is on this planet, Vicar or whatever it's called, and he says that he attempted to get all the stones 70 years ago, but they never showed him in the first Avenger going to get all the stones. He just had the Tesseract.
Yeah, Red Skull was a surprise, man. I was not expecting that.
That was real dope. And like I was telling one of you guys, like, I don't need any more Red Skull in the MCU, but it's real cool to know what happened to him after the first Captain America.
Agreed.
I think that they should use Red Skull. I mean, now that they brought him back, and I saw somewhere, I think that the actor that actually played Red Skull in the first movie is not the same guy that was Red Skull in this movie.
The dude, y'all watch Walking Dead?
Yeah. I do.
The dude who recruited Rick and all of them to Alexandria, I don't remember his name. He one of the gay dude.
Yeah.
He got hurt. He got hurt in the like second half of his last season. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
He that's the dude that replaced Hugo Weaving as Red Skull.
Oh, okay.
But I feel like since they brought him back, like they showed where he is, and that he's there or whatever. I feel like he could be useful as a villain in the future against, if there's a new Captain America at some point or something, he could be,
What up, Buck?
A character. I hope, but I think that could be used,
But the rumors are that Phase 4 is going to be a lot of off-Earth adventures and all of this, man. So it's possible. So, I mean, after all of that, I guess we can jump to the Black Order chasing down. They were going for the Time Stones. They ended up in New York, and that's when Doctor Strange, does his thing and interrupts Tony and Pepper talking about kids and all of that. Yeah, Tony Stark, I need you to come with me. And then Banner, Wong, Doctor Strange, Iron Man, they're taking on, I don't know all the Black Order's names. He called him Squidward. Ebony Maw. One of them's Corvus Glaive. The chick ends up chasing down Vision and Scarlet Witch. But that scene in the whole sequence in New York was real dope to me. That big circular spaceship. And that's why I was telling Merritt, it's like, man, Spider-Man's on this bus, man. How does he end up like hanging off the side of the bus? And that was funny. He smacked. I can't remember like the supporting characters' names.
Oh yeah, I don't know Oswald's name either. But
His
that
friend.
that was a pretty good scene. It was a good way they brought Spider-Man in.
Yeah, he's like, give me a distraction. He just smacked him in the face. And I don't even think he heard Peter. He just, like, saw the spaceship. And then he fucking webbed open the escape hatch.
He's like, what did he say? We're all gonna die.
Yeah, we're all gonna die. And then Spider-Man ends up in the mix with Iron Man. Just like a little teenage kid, just not paying attention, not listening to the adult, and ends up going up on the spaceship. And the way that they introduced the Iron Spider suit was real dope too, because you saw Peter losing his air the higher they got. And then when he deployed the Iron Spider suit, like, that was cold. That was real cold to me, because I thought it was like another Iron Man suit.
But it was a symbolic scene, though.
Yeah.
Like, that's the other thing, too, is a symbolic scene where, Spider-Man is up, Peter Parker's pretty much up there, he's hanging, right? Running out of air. And Iron Man literally said, and this is how much of a mentor he's become to Peter, he said, Peter, you're going to have to trust me and let go. And pretty much, the whole fall backwards thing, like the friend tells
trust
you fall back. Yeah. And Peter at first was like, I can't, or whatever. And then he was like, trust me. And then he does it. He falls backwards. And then the suit comes, So I thought that was like a symbolic thing that, like, how far their relationship has come. I thought that was dope. I thought the New York scene itself was dope. I thought even before that, like when Doctor Strange first came and got Tony Stark, because of they both have like crazy egos in the first place. They're both really witty. They both, are kind of jerks, So I thought it was kind of funny, like, seeing Tony Stark actually be challenged by somebody. Like, I always feel like with Captain America, like, they do a lot of back and forth, but Tony always wins the talk shit version of it. You know what I mean? Like, he always wins that version of it. Always. He always wins that version of it. Because Cap is not going to, he's not going to keep going with it. Like, too mature or whatever. Where Doctor Strange is more like, no, I'm going to get the last word. And I
kind of feel like they're the same character, Doctor Strange and Iron Man. They're both cocky. They're both strong in their trades and stuff. They're real similar. And that's why I think they keep going back and forth.
And I was telling Randy, like, the thing with Tony and Doctor Strange and Quill is like, all three of them are pretty much leaders of like their respected teams or whatever. And it's one of those things where Tony expects to be, the big guy in every room. And Doctor Strange and Quill are both like, no, we kind of lead our own teams. That's gonna work with us. Like, you better chill out. You know what I mean? Like, I thought that was kind of dope.
Back to the New York scene, I was kind of like, I'm kind of wondering how the new Spider-Man's going to be prior to the sequel, because in Spider-Man Homecoming, we didn't really see Spider-Man using his senses, and in the bus, we actually see that.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of curious on how they're going to use that.
Spider sense.
So that's what I was kind of curious about. Yeah, he has a spider senses in the bus, and in Homecoming, he didn't have it. So I'm kind of curious on that one. I really wanted to see Hulk and that big go at it in New York, but we didn't get to see it. So that would have been interesting as well.
Yeah, what's the from the Black Order, the tall, skinny one? Anybody know his name? The guy who can like move stuff around. He was a beast, man. He did some damage.
Was that Squidward?
What's that?
I think Randy said his name.
Was that Squidward?
He said it. Yeah,
the one they call Squidward.
That's Ebony Maw.
Yeah,
he's the best of the Blackwater.
Yeah,
he was a beast.
And that's why I've seen other videos like when the ship is in space, Iron Man, Spider-Man save Doctor Strange, and they make that hole in the ship and he gets sucked out. We don't really see him die. There's a close up on his face like he's frozen, but then after that, I mean, that's it.
Yeah.
I remember Thanos saying in Titan that he took him out. So I guess they assuming that he's dead already.
Yeah.
Because he landed with the ship Titan. I'm not sure.
Didn't somebody fly out the ship? Who flew out the ship when he shot that hole in? Didn't somebody go flying out?
One of the Avengers?
What, Doctor Strange?
Doctor Strange flew out. And
was
they
it?
pulled him back.
Yeah. Doctor Strange flew out and Spider-Man pulled him back in.
So yeah, the cloak of levitation got him, and then Spider-Man got him.
Got out. Like, he was fucked.
Man, I ain't never seen no human survive in space, man.
That's what I was thinking. That's why, like, in the comics or whatever, like Tony has like a specific outer space suit, right? It's like white and gold or something.
You talking about Iron Man?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they have their suits on or whatever. So yeah, I understood that. But Doctor Strange, as soon as that hole got blasted to that shit, he should have been done for it.
Yeah.
He should have been like popsicle.
It's Marvel magic.
I don't know, man, because in the Marvel in Doctor Strange movie, the big bad in Doctor Strange movie when he kept on doing the time repeat.
Yeah, all that shit with Dormammu was kind of outer space.
Yeah, he wasn't on Earth then either. It was kind of like, you know.
I've come to bargain.
Because he's a sorcerer, maybe he don't need to breathe. I don't know.
Yeah, that's why when they save him and they're talking about turning the ship around and all this, and Doctor Strange tells him, he's like, if it comes down to you, the kid, or the stone, I'm protecting the stone. And they kind of have their like war of words back and forth. And Doctor Strange is like that really smart nerd in class. He doesn't know how to talk shit. You just called him a douchebag. It still landed. It was still funny.
Yeah, but
and then Tony had that little. He goes on that little speech he had about taking the fight to Thanos or whatever. I thought that was real dope. I think it showed Tony Stark's coming a long way from being the playboy, egotistical or whatever. Like he's finally growing up in a sense or whatever.
Because like he said, man, he's known about this for 6 years.
Yeah, I thought that was a real dope scene where he's like, no, this is what we're doing. You know, I'm not letting him go here. We're going to go to him. I thought that was really cool.
I like that Tony has become like he really holds himself responsible for stuff. Like, and he's been like that. He's been like that since Civil War, pretty much. Well, since Iron Man 3, he's been like that. But you've seen it more in Civil War, where when things happen, no matter whether it's his fault or not, he takes responsibility for stuff. And in this movie, like, I felt like he really felt responsible for Spider-Man. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? So when he was arguing with Doctor Strange, just as much of it was about the fact that there was a kid that he was responsible for, as much as it was everything else that was going on. You know what I mean? Like, I thought that was kind of dope. Because he really holds himself responsible. And I always look back to that one scene where in the first Avengers movie when Cap and Iron Man and Tony Stark was about to fight, and Cap kept on telling him to put on the suit.
Yeah.
But he's a guy that wants to, lay over the wire or whatever, let somebody else cross or whatever. He'll never sacrifice himself or whatever. And I feel like since
cut the wire.
I just cut the wire. But ever since that conversation, I feel like he's done that over and over and over again. Like, sacrificed him for everything else. Ever since that conversation. So I feel like he has come a long way just based on those things. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, ever since he took the nuke into the wormhole.
The Scarlet Witch giving that one vision towards him made him scared as shit. And that's why he's so nervous. He doesn't know what to do sometimes. And when he hears about aliens or outer space, right away he gets so nervous and like so anxious. So like you said, I think that was a smart move on his part, just taking the fight to Thanos, keeping it away from Earth.
Yeah.
That was a good thing, man.
Yeah.
And when did Vision and what's her name become a thing, man? I was caught off guard by that.
Civil War-ish.
Yeah.
I mean, they made dinner or whatever. Their relationship has escalated. Like, I think ever since Vision saved her at the end of Ultron.
Dinners, it didn't turn into that.
I feel like it was. I feel like in Civil War they kind of like played off a little bit that they were alone a lot, and
they hinted at it
or whatever. And that Scarlet Witch realized that she can, do stuff to him because of the gem or whatever. And I think in this movie they didn't have time to just kind of really play on the fact that they were in love or whatever. So they just gave it to us, like, okay, look at this, they're together.
Yeah.
And then
if I had to complain about this movie, it'd be that the heroes didn't really get a lot of character development or anything, but all of that went to Thanos. Like, this is Thanos' movie. And like I said on Twitter yesterday, Jake, you saw the post. Like, this is movie 19. If you're going to watch movie 19 in a franchise, you know the characters, man. You know all the heroes. Like, come on. And speaking of that scene, the whole Scarlet Witch Vision date night, I'm sitting there like, okay, like, this is where the movie gets a little slow. Like, nah, here come this is another Black Order member. I don't know. I think it's like the big, like, I guess the big refrigerator shaped Black Order member, and then the female. And that scene was dope. Like, that was a dope, real dope fight scene for one that didn't really have like a marquee hero. And then out of nowhere, here come that part in the trailer where Cap catches that dagger or whatever. It's not a dagger. It's like Aquaman's like a staff or something. Yeah, he catches it.
See, I didn't watch.
Cap comes out of the shadows. And then,
that was a surprise to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you saw her look at the train and she sees someone behind it, and I was like, oh, and sure enough, here comes Captain America.
I didn't think it was gonna be Captain America. You knew somebody was gonna come save the day or come help him out or whatever, but I wasn't guessing Captain America.
Black Widow, Falcon.
But I didn't know who, to be honestly.
I guess with the whole Scarlet Witch, once Captain America broke him out in Civil War, I guess they went ahead and made up Vision and her or something. I'm not too sure.
Yeah, they were on opposite sides. Yeah.
Because they didn't really show that because they're on opposite teams or whatever. And I guess they're just running away or trying to be themselves, trying to stay away from the U.S., stay away from the military or the government, and just keeping in contact with Black Widow and the Captain. And then you also hear that he's evolving. The stone's making him evolve, so they can't really track them. So
yeah, it's like he would feel it like every time Thanos got a stone.
Yeah, he was feeling that. And it kind of, I was reading the comics, and Adam Warlock kind of has that same behavior because he was born with the actual stone. So whenever Thanos has it, Adam Warlock can actually sense Thanos and stuff like that. So, which is pretty cool. So it kind of has a little bit of the same thing in the comics. So that's what I thought.
Yeah, Adam Warlock definitely has to be in the next where he has to be.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. I hope he's in it.
And then what's up, Mary?
I think that scene, the Scarlet Witch scene, this movie in general, but that specific Scarlet Witch scene actually showed how strong Scarlet Witch has gotten too. Like Vision was getting fucked up, messed up, but Scarlet was like, and it was like more of them than her. She was holding it down. Mm-hmm. Like she was pretty much saving Vision and fighting at the same time before those guys showed up, and she was really doing her thing.
It seemed like Vision was getting his ass kicked the whole movie. I'm like, wait, Vision used to be a beast. What's going on?
He's just vulnerable in this movie. Like in this movie,
he fell in love and got soft. He got off his game hard.
Man, he knew they was coming for him. And then what? And then it cuts to Rhodey back at the complex, right?
Yeah.
And then so you see the leg braces, and he's talking to Thunderbolt Ross. And then the Cap, they just all walk in, just bout it. And then it's like a hologram or whatever. And he makes a comment toward Cap, and they just walk in like, arrest us, motherfucker. Like, without the Avengers, y'all can't stop this. And they just wipe them away, man. I thought that was dope. And that's where they explain, because Banner comes out of the shadows. Him and Black Widow kind of have like eye contact and all that exchange.
That was a very awkward moment.
Yeah.
And it was even said, like, okay, this is awkward. Like,
yeah. And then that's when they tell him. So there's an Ant-Man and a Spider-Man now. And then they kind of like, it was cool how they did it. But Hawkeye's not in the movie. Ant-Man's not in the movie because they made a deal so they could be around their families. They're on house arrest. And that's going to play into Avengers 4 and Ant-Man and the Wasp and all of that.
Since we're touching on it real quick, so now all the Marvel movies that are announced, they have to tie in Infinity War, right?
Well, in July, you got Ant-Man and the Wasp and fuck it, Jake. You ain't seen the trailer. I don't care. They show Ant-Man with an ankle bracelet. And then Captain Marvel comes out in March. And that's going to take place in the 90s.
But yeah, so like the Ant-Man, it has to be post-Infinity War, though, right?
I don't know. Because I watched like a video that I was watching was predicting that Ant-Man and the Wasp will take place after Civil War. It shows his house arrest. And then it could end, hypothetically predicting whatever, with, different characters disappearing. So it'll line up with the end of the first Avenger movie.
Okay.
That'd be cool.
I think Captain Marvel is going to very much be like that. I feel like Captain Marvel is going to be a movie that's going to be placed back in the 90s or whatever. Like, she's going to get her, this is how I became Captain Marvel movie.
Yeah.
I think it's going to end present day with her getting that message or something like that.
Yeah, I think her post-credit scene will be her receiving that little page.
Yeah,
I kind of curious on how that'll go. For her, this movie being in the 90s and then now in the future, like where has she been this whole time? You know, I mean, if you think of it, she could have took on the Chitauri and Ultron by herself.
Yeah,
once she's part of what's that group that she's like some team or whatever. It's kind of like Green Lantern Corps. She's part of like some I can't remember what it's called. I thought she was like leader or something out in space sector or some shit.
I don't know, but
I don't know too much about.
In the next Avenger movie, that's what I want. Like after they figure out how to bring everybody back, I want Iron Man to walk up to Nick Fury, like, you've had this badass in your back pocket for the past 10 years and you didn't tell anybody? That's bullshit, Fury.
Yeah, that'd be a good one.
That'd be dope.
And then,
so we're gonna get to my favorite scene yet?
I'm trying to go. I know I'm all over the place, but I'm trying to go scene by scene.
But that was the next scene, though, right?
Which
one?
The
next scene, the Iron Man, Thanos, that scene, Doctor Strange.
Oh, when they all land on Titan and
yeah, that's next, right?
The Guardians go. The Guardians end up on Titan.
Yeah.
Yeah, go to that scene, man, because that was a dope fight too. Because Iron Man, Spider-Man, and them thought the Guardians were with Thanos.
That was cool. That scene was dope because in the beginning, like I thought it was funny in the beginning because Quill and Iron Man had their back and forth where they, they had their who's the wittiest moment, right?
Yeah.
And like they both, like Quill thought that Iron Man was with Thanos and vice versa, and they're doing their back and forth or whatever, and and then I thought it was cool that they had another scene where once they got to Titan and Iron Man came up with a plan because he always has the big guy on campus or whatever. And Quill is like, no, let me come up with the plan. Your plan's stupid.
Yeah.
And then
your plan, it sucks.
Yeah. He's like, good plan. The only thing about it is it sucks. So we come up with the plan. And then
we'll go from there.
You know what I mean? And they used his plan, which I thought was pretty dope. I thought that scene altogether was dope. And I feel like as a team, for how strong Thanos is, they really did hold their own.
Yeah.
Like, they held their own in that fight.
When Mantis had him under the trance.
Had it, man. They almost had it.
They had it off. They had it off, man. They did. They had it off.
Because to get the Soul Stone, Thanos has to sacrifice the one thing he cares about, Gamora. Because like you said, he never threatens Gamora. So Gamora dies, he gets the Soul Stone, and when Quill, Nebula basically confirms it, he left with Gamora, came back with the Soul Stone. Quill just fucked the whole thing up, just basically out of rage, crime of passion, and
let his emotion get him.
Yeah.
But dog, it was just one of those things. It's like, dog, give it 5 more seconds, and you can beat him up all you want. They had the glove off his hand, dude.
Man, but Doctor Strange was damn near Steve Nash out there. He was setting up those little. I can't think of names right now, man. But he was setting up his little portals or whatever. Quill was bouncing off of them, running at Thanos. Spider-Man was hopping through them and hitting Thanos, man. They was getting licks in.
What's the girl's name with the antennas? What's her name?
Mantis.
Mantis. When he opened up that portal and she dropped out of the sky and landed on top of it. Yeah, I thought that was clever as shit. I was like, she about to put it. I knew right away. She's gonna put it to sleep. That was a real dope scene. Yeah, everything that happened on Titan, because they were on Titan for a minute, and then they broke away with the different stories, and they came back to Titan. Yeah, I agree with Mary. Everything that went down on Titan was super dope.
Cool, dog. He threw the moon, son. That was
You throw one more moon at me, and I'm gonna lose it.
Yeah, he's like, Luke, that was dope. Him throwing the moon was dope. I felt like Thanos held his own against 5 or 6 people at one time. And then I went into this movie because of that one trailer. I went into this movie thinking that Iron Man was going to get his shit handed to him. And I feel like Iron Man actually did hold his own, against Thanos.
Yeah,
and
man.
And he died. And I was like, dude, I really thought that Iron Man was gone for real.
When Iron Man got stabbed, man, that almost ended my marriage.
I was like, man, this is it. Because I was expecting to lose Iron Man or Cap in this movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when it happened, I was like more like, damn, this is it. You know what I mean?
Like the more damage he was taking on the suit, the less nanites he had to actually, make up for it. So that kind of sucked. I like that the Iron Spider had the legs come out, so that was dope because that's in the actual comics. I was like, that's badass.
Spider-Man was clowning.
Yeah, Spider-Man was. I liked his role. He played a hell of a role. Like his part in this movie was dope.
Yeah,
real dope.
I agree.
Iron Man's gonna, you know how he has Friday and for the Hulkbuster suit when
Yeah, like 4
pieces or whatever, that's probably 7 new pieces or whatever. Remember when he was the Hulkbuster fighting the Hulk and Hulk like tore apart his arm or whatever, and he was able to just replace it?
Yeah.
I feel like he's gonna have to somehow figure out how to do that with the nanobots. Like if he's fighting somebody like Thanos and the pieces get torn apart, but new pieces come from somewhere. Like, you know what I mean?
Come the next movie, he might be stranded on Titan for a little bit.
Like a satellite or something.
Yeah.
Because he lost all contact once he hit out of the atmosphere,
Mm-hmm.
and Friday wasn't even in his head anymore. So I feel like they should throw like I don't know, maybe we'll see in the next Avengers, maybe a satellite or something be up his face so he could still make contact with it.
I think Banner will figure it out.
Oh, he's single as shit, man. Can we talk about that too?
Yeah. Just how I did in Civil War.
He's single now, man. He ain't with Potts no more. She gonna leave his ass. She said, "Get your ass back here," and he hung up on her.
Yeah.
He's done.
Not leaving
He's
him.
gone.
Nah.
He's not leaving him. He got her. He got her being a pimp and an alcoholic. But that she gonna stay with him being a hero that don't sleep with nobody else or drink no more.
She got the rights to the company though. It's over for Tony.
Yeah. So where we at after this, man? They all decided to get the Mind Stone out of Vision. So everybody goes to Wakanda. We finally get up with Black Panther, and Shuri has them laid out on the table. And then just to show, like, oh yeah, you want to talk about Thor making the axe first? We ain't talk about Thor rocking and Groot the whole time. And it
That
Groot,
shit was cool,
yeah,
man.
but just one little I am Groot, and Thor understands him. Oh yes, Groot was an elective on Asgard.
Yeah,
That was hilarious.
Yeah. Man, that was probably like the tallest midget I ever seen, man. That shit was, I was like, what? That caught me off guard.
Yeah, Peter Dinklage.
That was very dope. They made him a giant. They made him a giant dwarf. That was crazy.
Tyrion Lannister. Yeah, I don't know what his name is, man, but he was a dope character.
Let me say,
I saw his hands, and I was like, okay, well, something's wrong with his hands. But then later on, he described what had happened. Man, Thor took it like a champ, though, man.
Yeah,
but that's Thor. I was like, oh,
he
shit.
took the heart of a dying star straight to the fucking body.
Yeah, I say this all the time. I've been telling Randy this since Ultron, man. I always said that they figured out how to use Thor in Ultron. Like, that's when Thor really became Thor. Like, like they didn't know that Chris Hemsworth could be funny and be, action. You know what I mean? And I feel like Ultron is when he really, like, hit his mark as far as, like, being the perfect Thor. And ever since then, he's been the best Avenger, hands down. And he gets stronger and stronger. And in every movie, I was telling Randy earlier, there's not really any movies where Thor is getting his ass beat. He don't ever be losing. He never be losing fight, ever. Like, and in this movie, I felt like him taking that star shows how strong he is.
Yeah.
And like after he gets the axe, like that whole him creating the axe thing, and then him not having enough power to build a handle, and then Groot like just deciding like, oh, I'll just do it. And then he makes it. It was dope. All that was dope.
Man, Groot. I was saying, Randy, man, Groot pissed me off, man. He's like in that teenager phase, so he's just there with the game in his hand, like, man, you see this man dying, give him a handle.
Yeah, but Groot,
I was getting upset just watching it, man. I'm like, damn. But he still pulled it off last minute. He's like, he needs it. You just see that axe just electrocute. Like, oh shit, here we go. And boom, he gets it. That was dope.
It's like such a teenager though. Like he looked over like, I guess I'll do it. Like it wasn't like something he was eager to do. It was like such a teenager way of
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Hey, Groot played the perfect teenager.
Yeah, he did, man. That's ridiculous.
Playing video
Groot put the
games.
game down.
He was annoying, man. Nobody liked him.
At first, his first line,
He was
the way that Vin Diesel delivered that line, "I am Groot." Whoa! Like, hey, he said something vulgar, bro. That shit was so funny.
That whole thing was dope. I like that whole scene, man. I liked it. I like how they put it together. I like how it looked. It was all dark. And Thor actually had to show his strength.
Yeah,
Like, we have to realize that Thor was actually swinging the damn jet that Rocket was driving. Like, he was swinging that shit with a rope. With his, like, bare hands. Like, he was swinging that shit with his hand. Like, and then when he got it up to power, he put him to that thing and, like, was holding that shit while that star. That was crazy. That was crazy. That was Thor. Thor's a beast, man.
Man, it's the writing, man. I think that's the only reason Chris Hemsworth did the Vacation or the Ghostbusters reboots, man, just to show his comedic chops. And his writing ever since Ultron has been so much better. And now that he can deliver humor, Ragnarok, this, man, yeah, Thor has basically been the MVP of the whole Avengers roster.
Yeah.
I think he's the star of this movie. Him and Thanos, obviously. I think they were.
No, there's no way he could have been in Civil War. If he would have been in Civil War, whoever team he was on was going to win. He would have fucked everybody up.
I read that Hemsworth himself decided not to be in Civil War just a couple days ago. I read that.
Dog, if he would have been, because just like I was telling Randy this too, like the Hulk is stronger than Thor. Like he's just naturally stronger than Thor overall. But Thor's a better warrior than the Hulk. Like I think long term, that's why like Thor just comes off as so much better than everybody else. Because he's a beast.
I mean, he's
He whooped his ass on Ragnarok.
1,500 years old, and he's killed double that total.
Yeah. I always feel like their fight, like even the fight in the first Avengers, like I feel like the Hulk did his thing, but overall I feel like Thor was fucking him up, and like it got to the point where Hulk got mad and wanted to lift the hammer and couldn't, and he was trying to lift it and shit, and he couldn't, and Thor was punching him, and I thought Thor won both of those fights. To be
That's
real.
why Hulk gave him that cheap shot.
Yeah,
There's actually a version of the comic that he lifts the hammer, but I guess they're not going with that route. But I thought that was cool when I read it, that he actually lifts Thor's hammer, so he is worthy of Asgard.
Yeah, in the whole universe, I don't think in the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe another human will lift that hammer.
I think Black Widow can. I think Black Widow will. I really do. I just think I think at some point she's gonna lift it, specifically because in Ultron, when all of the men was trying to lift it or whatever, and it was like they asked her to do it, and she was like, "That's not a question I need answered" or whatever.
Yeah, the females was like, "Nah, y'all don't want no parts of that."
Like I think she's gonna be able to do it, and it might have something to do with the writing that's on it, like whatever man deemed worthy or whatever. It might have something to do with that, because in the comics, didn't I think it was the crossover one where like DC was fighting Marvel or something or whatever. Didn't like Wonder Woman or somebody lift it, and it had something to do with that they were a woman.
Oh man, she would be worthy anyway.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying. Like I think,
but in the comic book right now, Jane Foster.
Yeah, there we go too.
Female Thor.
Jane's female Thor.
Yeah,
that's dope.
So I mean, it don't matter anyway, because I don't want nobody to replace Thor, because he's a beast. He's a beast.
So now we cut back to everybody in Wakanda. White Wolf and Cap reconcile. Tweety Bird's romantic fluttering around them and shit. And then Rhodey pulled that gag on Hulk and made Hulk bow. He's like, "No, we don't do that here." And then they laid Vision on the table, and Banner's kind of explaining that he's Jarvis, like me and Mary was saying earlier. He's Jarvis, Banner, and Stark all combined. And then Shuri says some smart shit that I don't understand. And
she's like, "Why didn't you guys do this?"
Yeah.
And this? It was like, because we didn't think
we
of
just
it.
didn't think of it.
So, how smart she is.
Yeah, that just shows that her brains. She's one of the smartest minds in the whole universe.
But honestly, also, they didn't think of it because they really didn't have time.
No.
Because remember, they were fighting Captain America and everybody.
Cap, Scarlet Witch, and Quicksilver was trying to prevent Vision. So yeah, they didn't have time.
So they didn't have time to really think of it. You know what I mean? So it's not that they couldn't. They just didn't. They couldn't. They didn't have time to do it.
I mean, honestly, his body was already connected and all of that before they even got the capsule he was in.
Yeah, that's how Ultron decided.
Yeah.
But
she didn't die, did she?
I don't know. I think all of you have asked me that if Shuri perished, and I just don't remember.
They really don't show her anything. I mean, she gets her ass whooped, but she goes like flying.
Yeah.
I think
I'm not even worried about that part. I'm worried about the part that we haven't got to yet, so we'll just wait and talk about that later. But I'm not worried about, like, I don't think she died from getting knocked out of the window. I don't think she died.
Nah.
But
she's not dead. There's a Black Panther sequel in the works, the highest grossing movie of the year so far. So the main cast of Black Panther is coming back. So it kind of cuts back and forth between Titan and Wakanda, and you got that battle, Iron Man, Spider-Man, Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange does a little meditation before they fight Thanos, and he says he sees, I don't know the exact number, like 14 million different outcomes of how Thanos with the gauntlet and the stones could go. Iron Man asks him, how many do we win? One. And after the battle, Iron Man gets stabbed. Like I said, I was almost a divorcee, and because I'm telling my wife, she glared at me multiple times after he got stabbed and the blood coming out his mouth and all of this. I was pretending. Y'all know, y'all men, y'all know how to pretend not to look, and and Doctor Strange was just like, no tricks, because what'd he say? He said all the tricks of a wizard, and you didn't use your strongest one. And he shook him. He tried to juke him right quick, and he gave him like a fake stone or something, right? And then when Iron Man was about to die, he was like, "I'll give you the stone, just spare his life." And then he gets the time stone, and just them portals that Thanos was creating was dope. He would just pop out like it wasn't nothing. And when he thought he had all of them beat on Titan, he just ends up in Wakanda. And then, like I was telling y'all, Banner was shook. Cap, that's him. And then that scene.
Hold on. One more thing. Before you go that far. It's because it's important. It's important.
I'm sitting here creating an Infinity War audio book over here.
I know. You're just going on. And I knew you was going to go so far. We have to remember that before that scene, Doctor Strange had already told them, like, if it comes down to saving you or saving the kid or the stone, I'm going to choose the stone. So obviously that one way of them winning, that one way of them defeating Thanos out of the 14 billion or whatever he said, had something to do with Tony, because he decided to save Tony rather than the stone in the end.
Yeah, I mean,
what I mean?
Yeah.
Or I think the way they need to defeat him is he needs to have all the stones.
I think we all made that connection before the video came up. The one outcome that Doctor Strange saw the Avengers winning had to do with Tony putting together some kind of resolution that was stronger than Thanos between Captain Marvel and all the survivors of the end of this movie. And so he had to give up the stone.
Yeah, Tony's going to be vital to stopping all of turning all of this around. And that also means that Doctor Strange has already saw how the movie. I don't want to say it yet because we ain't got there yet. But Doctor Strange already saw how this movie ends. He already saw that in the first place, so he knew that he wasn't going to make it anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and like during all of that, there's a battle going on at Wakanda. Y'all know how the little invisibility dome is over Wakanda, and the Black Order show up with. Does anybody know what those creatures are called?
No.
With them little dog hybrid alien creatures was real dope. Like they dogpiled on the Hulkbuster, and that was part of when Black Widow and Okoye Scarlet Witch was out there fucking them up, and then Rocket and Groot show up. All of a sudden with the axe, Thor comes out of nowhere, boom, and it clears out a whole football field radius worth of them motherfuckers, man. That was one of my favorite parts of the movie.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you see Rocket asking Bucky, "Hey, how much for the gun?"
Yeah. Bucky picked him up, right?
Yeah, how much for the yard? And he just walks away. I'm gonna get that.
I'm gonna get that arm.
That's just funny. Yeah.
I mean, that was the meme
was
after the
funny.
first Guardians movie. That was the meme going around that Rocket was gonna take Bucky's arm.
Yeah, he also had that. He had that eyeball he gave to Thor too. I thought that was silly as hell.
Yeah, he had that spare eye.
He just had an eyeball.
Kind of negates the loss that Thor suffered from his last movie, but oh well, man, I thought it was dope.
No, but that was a continuous scene because that from one of the Guardian movies, he stole the guy's eye and he was laughing about it.
From the first one.
I stole his eye, and they were laughing about it. So it was kind of dope that they kind of brought that
back
all the way around, and he gave that to Thor. Like I thought, I kind of liked the eye patch Thor. I thought they should have kept that. But at the same time, if you're gonna fix it, let it be something unique like that. Like
that was
have 2 weeks ago.
Nick Fury already got an eye patch, man. You can't have. There's only room for one eye patch in the MCU.
Yeah, but I thought if you're gonna fix something, like if you're gonna fix something like that, let it be something mad witty like that.
Yeah, it was good.
Movies ago, man. That was a long time ago. He stole that eye, and the fact that Thor just lost his. I thought that was dope. That means they were planning that a long time ago.
Yeah, the Russo brothers and the producers, Kevin Feige, the writers, man, they pieced together the perfect heroes to get the best chemistry and all of that, and it just worked, man.
Yeah.
We back at that big ass battle. Thor comes in. He notices Cap has that beard. He makes that. So I see you copied my beard. I thought that was a little funny one liner. And then that's around the time when Thanos, because everybody's kind of wrecked, and Scarlet Witch, she decides that she has to destroy the Mind Stone. And I think I've told 2 of you. I don't know if I told Jake, but I'm looking at it, and once Scarlet Witch destroys the Mind Stone, I'm just like, okay, now what? The stone's gone. How is Thanos can't complete the set? So what is it? Is it just now battle for the rest of the movie for the next movie in 10, 15 minutes? And then Thanos has the gauntlet, and depending on what stone he wants to use, he channels the time stone, turns back time. Scarlet Witch is fucked up. She just killed Vision. Vision gets put back together, and he just rips that shit out. Just yoink, takes that stone. He got the set, and I was like, no. I thought it was a wrap. He had all the stones. I thought it was a wrap.
The first official fallen Avenger, right?
Was Vision. Yeah, you see him turn gray and everything, man. I'm like, damn.
Yeah, and just the life just powers out of him.
No, when she first destroyed the stone, though, when she first destroyed the stone, in my mind, I felt like this. This is what I thought. I was like, damn, he's not going to be able to get all the stones. He's going to fucking snap now.
Yeah.
He's going to kill his spree. So that's what I really thought. I was like, man, he's going to, now that he can't complete the mission, he's going to be so angry. He's going to kill everything. But then when he reversed time, I was like, oh, that's crazy. Like,
I knew that was coming.
I was shocked. I thought he was just going to go crazy and kill everything around. I really did. I thought he was going to snap. I really did. I thought he was going to bug out. But it was dope the way that they did that. That was dope.
Yeah, I was just reacting to the moment. Like, I wasn't paying attention. Like, he can just use the stone and fix everything and get what he wants. I was just reacting to what had happened.
Yeah, that was dope. That was dope.
I kind of thought it was going to happen like the Ether in Dark World, where Thor electrifies it and it just shatters. And I thought maybe Thanos would just pick up the pieces and it would just form as a stone again. I wasn't expecting him to use a time stone at all. That caught me off guard.
Yeah, and then after that, you see the axe coming, just coming from afar, and Thanos takes that new axe that Thor has right to the chest. And then from an earlier quote, somebody's telling Thor, like, Thanos is the baddest dude in the world. Like, man, you're not gonna beat him. He's like, well, he's never faced me twice. And Thor had Thanos beat, man, dead to rights.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Hey, let's talk about that line. That line was brilliant.
Yeah.
That was funny. That was real funny. He's like, what do you say? What do you say? I've never lost. He's like, well, Thanos just beat you.
Yeah.
Or beat you twice.
Yeah, and that axe was supposed to be stronger than his hammer, so
But Thor,
because that's what they referred to it as when he was making him. It's a Thanos killing weapon. Like it's suicide to go back without this. No matter what, taking the start of the chest, I need this axe.
Thor had him, dude. Like Thanos was hurt, dude.
Yeah.
He don't have the stones, he dies. Like if he didn't have all the stones to do what he did right then, he was gonna die right there, dog. Like he was lucky. Like cause Thor had him. Thor was a beast with that hammer, dude.
Yeah.
Like we didn't even emphasize how much of a beast with the new weapon he was, dude. He was crazy
He
with
was
it.
killing.
Yeah, he was crazy with it. Like Captain America and everybody was pretty much it was too many of them things for them to even stop him. Thor came in and wrecked it by himself. He pretty much he made it an even fight by himself.
Yeah.
Like it was crazy. It was
should have aimed for the head, man.
Yeah, and then Thanos tells him, "You should have aimed for the head." And
but I want to rewind a little bit. I want to talk about Captain America when he runs up on Thanos and he grabs the gauntlet and he's holding it.
Yeah.
You start to see like Thanos, like he's trying to like move his fingers or whatever.
See,
like he's trying to pull.
That's dope.
It showed Thanos, he got his look on his face, and he's like, "Damn, you know this."
That was in the trailers, and that's real dope that you didn't see any trailers, cause your reaction, like that's the reaction everybody should have had, cause that's what I was telling these dudes from the trailers. Like, hey, Cap, yeah, Cap gets that gauntlet, and Thanos makes that face, just like, what the fuck, like,
yeah, Thanos is like, he about to pull his
by himself.
Man, you see how big his hand is, and Captain America's fingers just wrap around his hands wrap around his finger each. Oh my dang. He's big as shit.
Yeah, but Thanos is gargantuan.
That was one thing that I was telling Randy though. Like before we get to the next scene though, like I feel like Marvel has to figure out. Like I mean, of course they got to sell their toys or whatever, and I feel like they could do less selling the movie. Like they did mad trailers, and some of the stuff they did in the trailers they should have really saved for like just the shock value. Like Jake, you didn't watch that trailer. Like you got to see that Captain America part. Like, that was something they should have said. You know what I mean? And the toys, like, they come up with all these Lego sets and all this stuff, like, weeks before the movie. I feel like we should have never even gotten to see, like, the Iron Spider arms or knew anything about it until the movie, like, gave it to us. But because of toy sales and that stuff, like, they had that stuff way early. You know what I mean? I feel like they shouldn't do that. Like, I feel like they should maybe wait. The toys are going to sell no matter what. That's how I feel. Like, they should probably release the toys the same day as the movie. At least that Thursday night or whatever. Because, like...
Hold off all merchandise until April 26th.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be that hard to do. I mean, it makes sense. I agree with that.
Yeah.
But, like, because they're taking away some of the shock value. Like, there were toys. There were
spoilers.
Where Thanos had his whole gauntlet
all
with
the
all
stones.
the gems in it already.
Yeah.
And it's like... Okay, so we know he gets them all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just based on the fact that the toy was out. You know what I mean? Like, that's something that they need to look at. Like, I think.
You start to see the light, though, now, aren't you? Why I don't watch trailers?
Yeah,
I already knew. I know exactly why you don't watch trailers. I go to so many movies, man. It's unavoidable.
There's so many movies out, man. Like,
if it's something, I'm telling you, if it's something I'm super hyped on, I know I'm going to see it in theaters, I will not watch the trailer. I can't tell you how many times I've gotten up and walked out of a room. I'll be at my mom's house watching TV. If it's trailer, I get up and just walk away. I'm like, what are you doing? I'm like, I ain't watching this.
My brother did the same thing, man. My brother did the exact same thing.
They showed the Deadpool trailer in the movie theater when I was watching Infinity War, man. I put my fingers in my ear and I looked down. Did not watch the trailer, man. I can't watch trailers. It just ruins it.
Dude, I'm going to have to stop watching trailers.
I feel that.
I am, man, because it was so much, like, and it wasn't still, even with the toys and the trailers or whatever, there was still a lot of shock value in this movie. But if they would have saved half of the stuff that they actually had, like, it would have been crazy. The impression of, like, the shock value of the movie would have been crazy. It would have been ridiculous.
All right, so
you go now.
Where we at, man? Thanos gives that you should have aimed for the headline because he knew he was beat, and he just like looks Thor dead in the eyes and just gives him that bitch and just snaps, create his portal, and he's gone. And once he snaps, certain characters, if you pay attention, the newer characters, they all just like start turning to like mulch and dust, and they just evaporate. And at first, like I said earlier, I was caught up in the moment, so I was like, "What is this? What is going on?" And then like after like Bucky goes, I think they cut back to Titan and like Drax, Manus, they disappear. They cut back. I think Groot disappears, and then once Black Panther disappears, first I'm like, "Oh shit, Black Panther!" And I was like, "Oh fuck, he snaps. Half of existence is gone." He explains what he wanted to do: wipe out half of existence, creation, whatever. Go off and start looking at sunsets every morning and just be pleased that he, I don't know, righted the world or righted the universe. And it happened. Thanos' plan comes to fruition, and the way this movie ends, Thanos wins. For the casual moviegoer that doesn't know Avengers 4 comes out in 52 weeks, Thanos wins. And if you pay attention, like I was telling Merritt earlier, all the OGs that was established, Iron Man, Thor, Cap, Black Widow, and Nebula, a couple other characters here and there, Rocket Raccoon, they stick around. I think Banner.
Yeah, but they didn't do that on purpose. They said it. Thanos said that it's completely random. Like he doesn't control who it is.
Yeah.
He says that earlier in the movie when he's explaining it. Because I thought about that too. I'm like, okay, if you're gonna wipe everybody out, like why would you leave some of the most powerful beings behind? You know what I mean? But then I remember he explained it and he said it was random.
Yeah, because he doesn't really care. Like in his, like he's the bad guy. He's a big bad or whatever. He thinks that what he's doing is right in the first place. So based on the righteousness part of it, he's crazy, but the righteousness part of it is, okay, it's not me being biased. I'm not biased to anyone. This is what I have to do. It could be someone I love, and if they have to go, they have to go. So half of the existence, no matter who they are, it could be my mom, it could be my cousin, it's whatever, it's what has to happen. So that part of it is kind of dope that, it's whoever. He didn't know who it was going to be.
Yeah, he ain't discriminate.
What sucks for him was that Captain America and Iron Man and Thor and the Hulk is still here. That sucks for him. But in this movie specifically, he wins, man. And he's looking out in the sunset and he smiles and he feels he done the right thing. And
it was really good writing too, because it adds to the whole mythos of Thanos too. Like he was so caught up in believing what he was doing was right. It was all about rebalancing the universe for him. Like, so he was so caught up in that no matter who was left behind, as long as it was exactly half,
the
universe was what he thought would be balanced. So yeah, it was kind of cool how they threw that random comment out there, because he was saying like it doesn't matter who's left as long as it's just half. Like the universe will find its balance. The universe will find, I will accomplish my humanitarian mission or whatever.
But because of how it plays out, though, way more than half dies, though, because he snaps and half of them, disappears or disintegrates or whatever it is, right? But people are flying planes and disintegrating, dude.
Yeah.
Somebody on that plane died.
That was dope. Like, just jumping all the way to the post-credit scene. You got Maria Hill and Nick Fury. They're just driving, going down the street, talking about some radar signal going off in Wakanda. You know what I'm saying? The big battle's going on. And all of a sudden, this car just loses control and almost, runs them off the road because the driver disappeared. Thanos snapped, that driver disappeared, and they show that helicopter come down. And then there goes Maria Hill. And just without thinking, fucking Nick Fury pulls out that old 1992 Samsung pager, and right before he goes, Nick Fury goes too. You see Captain Marvel's logo on this pager, setting up everything for next year.
Hey, I don't know about you guys in the theater, but when everybody first started dying, like it was silent in the theater. I mean, for like 5 minutes, man, nobody moved, nobody scratched their nose, like I was just like shocked.
I was just shocked. But dog, I was telling Randy, and he said he didn't really pay attention the first time, but when the movie went off, it was like sad music. Like it wasn't like the normal Avengers
score.
It wasn't like the normal music. It was like sad, like we lost music. Like they did that on purpose. I thought that was dope too. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and like when you, like, I'm gonna see it again, but when you you know, when you guys see the movie again, when it goes off and it's the credits, it's like the saddest music you could ever put in a movie. Like they did that on purpose. But dude, we can't gloss over Spider-Man disappearing though. We cannot gloss over that. That shit hurt.
Yeah, that was painful. I'm scared, Mr. Stark.
That hurt.
You got an Oscar for that one, man. That was very well played.
He's gonna get nominated. Best death.
I read MTV Awards. I read some link, some fan theory that, you know, with the spider sense being a little shown in this movie, that he knew what was coming. As soon as Thanos snapped, Spider-Man felt what was coming. He felt everybody fearing for their life, everybody disappearing and all this, and he knew that he was gonna go, and that just made him disappearing that much more painful, especially for Tony.
I gotta say though, they did it on purpose for screen time because his disappearance lasted way longer than everybody else did.
Yeah,
gave a speech.
They milked that shit.
Gave a closing argument on his way out.
But you know they did that. They did that for Tony. They did that for Tony Stark.
Yeah.
Because and I was telling Randy this too. In Ultron, you remember how he was saying that he kept having visions that his whole team was gonna die, but that wouldn't even be the worst part to be that he won't or whatever. But he always envisioned it being the normal Avengers team or whatever. And the vision was off just a little bit because it ended up being the team that he had with him on Titan that happened, where everybody died except him that he went with. You know what I mean?
Is he the only one alive on Titan?
Nebula.
He was the only one left. That Nebula, but she didn't come with them. She wasn't part of their team. Remember, she still later by herself.
She's still
but
there.
the team that Iron Man took to Titan, all of them died, and he was the only one left. So that played back to that speech that he gave, where, the worst part isn't that everyone died; it's that I was the only one to live, and the fact that he's Spider-Man's mentor, and he feels so responsible for him. So Tony pretty much is gonna feel like Spider-Man's death is his fault because he's tried to keep him away from it this whole time. Like, you know, he's trying to keep him out of the fight the whole time. And this time he had to kind of make Spider-Man the Avenger.
Yeah,
in the fight.
That was a dope line too. How can I be a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man if there's no neighborhood to save?
Yeah, Tony looked at him like, okay, all right.
Touche, kid.
So, but yeah, I think that whole scene, even though Spider-Man was dying, it had a lot to do with Tony Stark. So,
yeah,
you know, they kind of played off of it a little bit.
Yeah, man, a little speculation for Avengers 4 though. Like, it's gonna force, because how Tony just, you know, subtly told Bruce, like, hey man, me and Cap aren't on speaking terms. Now that everybody's gone, however Tony gets back to Earth, him and Cap have to reconcile. The original Avengers, probably plus Captain Marvel, plus Ant-Man, Hawkeye, they all have to come up with a way to figure it out.
But now that we're at this point, I also thought about this. I was wondering if Shuri disappeared, like with the snap, and I also wonder if Pepper disappeared with the snap, because if Pepper disappeared with the snap and Peter Parker disappeared,
Tony's
with the
gonna
snap,
be so motivated.
He's gonna go crazy. You know what I mean? If Pepper's gone and Shade is gone, he's gonna go crazy. And Shuri, I think that if Shuri disappeared with the snap, I'm hoping she didn't, because I feel like she can bring Vision back. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like she did enough of the stuff she needed to do with the gem, with the stone, to actually, you know, make Vision come back. But if she disappeared, it'll give Tony a chance to, you know, like upgrade his suit with the vibranium or whatever. Because, you know, T'Challa's gone too, so I don't know,
man. I kind of hope Shuri did go, man. You can't have the three brightest minds in the universe all working to figure it out. One of them has to be gone.
Yeah, you can.
I don't want her to be gone either, because I kind of want her to, you know, bring Vision back or whatever. But at the same time, I wouldn't mind her being gone for a little bit, and Tony being able to mess with the vibranium. Even if he's the one that figures it out and brings Vision back himself, or if he, you know, gets to put it in his nanobites of his suit, I think that'll be cool.
I think Vision's alright, man. He's up in the cloud. He'll be alright.
You think he's back?
I think he will. He's in the cloud, man. He's got backup storage.
I did.
He's made by Apple.
Everybody that died before Thanos snapped, Loki, Heimdall, Gamora, Vision. I hope they're all gone. Like there has to be some loss. But however they figure it out, like I can't even wrap my mind around how they're gonna figure out how to bring everybody back that perished. Like Captain Marvel's gonna have some Kree technology that she's gonna like shoot a pile of dirt and Bucky's gonna pop up. But
it don't have to be with the stone. They don't have to with the Infinity Gauntlet. That's really the only way they can bring anything back.
I think Tony's gonna have to put the gauntlet on.
Yeah, that's what one of y'all was telling me in the comics. Spider-Man does it and brings everybody back, right? Obviously, that's gonna change.
I had seen a picture.
Man, we've covered the whole movie, man. So let's hit like final thoughts and give me your score out of 5, and then we'll wrap this up. So, Jake, start us off.
Well, MCU wise, it's one of the better ones. It'd be towards the top of my list. I really couldn't place it right now, but out of 5 stars, I'd give it 4, maybe 4.5. I had a lot of fun with it. It didn't really blow me away like I was hoping it would. There's a lot of good scenes, a lot of good moments that we were used to with the Marvel movies. Yeah, but I was expecting like a 5-star. Like it was completely blown me away, and it fell a little bit short. I really don't have any complaints about it. My biggest complaint would be like it bounced around a lot, and it bounced around in some scenes. Like it bounced around fast, like quickly. That's probably my biggest complaint about it. But other than that, I really don't have anything negative to say about it. It was a really good time. I enjoyed it. It was well worth the wait. I can't wait to see what they do.
Adrian?
I enjoyed it. I loved it. I thought it was a great movie. I rated 4.5 just because of the fact there are some parts I think they could have done better with, like the whole fight scene. Like that one trailer they didn't show that they're all in Wakanda. Little things like that. The whole back and forth thing was, I thought it was all right. I didn't mind it because I wasn't lost. Like I think they put it in place really well, so you knew everything about everyone, and everyone got enough screen time. So I enjoyed it, and I'm really looking forward to what they're gonna do with Avengers 4. I can't predict what they're gonna do with it because it's up in the air. They can do whatever at this moment. I mean, you just don't know.
Merritt?
This movie's a 5, son. 5. This movie was amazing to me. No, I love this movie. It is my favorite Marvel movie ever, and it's for these reasons. First, there's never been a superhero movie where the villain actually wins. The villain actually wins in this movie. Like at the end of the movie, he's the last smiling face in the movie. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know if I've ever seen that. Second, you've never seen this many heroes or whatever die in one movie. You know what I mean? We've never seen this many heroes in one movie, first of all. But this many of them die in one movie, like, gave, like, the risk factor, like, so much power. You know what I mean? The shock value of, like, how it ended with the snap and some of my favorite characters just disappearing was crazy to me. I rated a 5, and it's my #1 Marvel movie. I loved it. And I thought that they did really good with pacing this movie together, as much as they had to bounce around and touching as many superheroes as they had. Like I feel like they couldn't have done it any better than that, just because it was so much work in the first place. And to put together 10 years worth of movies was just crazy to me. So I gave it a 5 just based on this is the final product of 10 years. Like I gave it a 5.
Yeah. I mean, man, to echo pretty much every single thing you said, man, it's a 5 for me. It's my favorite movie of the year, my favorite overall MCU movie, and there's all these heroes, this big ass cast. It felt like everybody got a little chance to shine. Doctor Strange, Black Panther, everybody, Iron Man, Cap, Vision. The list goes on, man, and it's compliment to the Russo brothers, man, from the Winter Soldier, which was my #1. The cast grows a little bit. Civil War. It was my #1 for a long time, and I flip-flopped between that and Winter Soldier, man. And then the cast like multiplies, doubles, quadruples, whatever you want to say, man. Like they said, it was like 65 some odd characters in this movie, and it's crazy. And yeah, man. So everything that I wanted, man. It was fun. it was funny, but the tone was still serious, as bad as Thanos is. And damn, I almost lost my train of thought. Fuck. That's not something you want on video. Huh?
Damn.
Yo, Thanos is the baddest bad guy.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. And it ended like you said, it ended with the villain on top. It ended, kind of on a down note. And that's what I wanted. Knowing that another Avengers movie is a year away, this movie ended with the villain, as far as everybody knows, as far as the common moviegoer knows, Thanos won. Like, the Avengers are done. Whoever's remaining, how are they going to stop him? And it builds even more excitement for the future of the MCU.
I also took half a star off of my review because they didn't bring back my man Howard the Duck. I'm still waiting.
Man, you gotta chill with some Howard the Duck.
I need explanations.
I told you.
Where's my man Howard at?
When Yondu went to check Sylvester Stallone about the what are they called? The Ravagers?
Yeah.
Howard the Duck was there.
Yeah, he was.
He's there, bruh.
So give it this John. So give it this back.
So Howard the Duck's not on nowhere, so he's still alive.
Guardians 2?
Yeah.
I missed that. I just watched that too. I just watched it again.
All right, well now you got to give the movie its points.
No, I give a quarter of a point back. Not the whole. Nah, hey, speaking of the Ravagers, real quick, I know I'm about to sign off. Are they gonna do a Ravagers spinoff movie?
I don't know. I haven't heard anything. It's possible.
I think they got the cast to do it. I thought that was because the way that scene ended with them, we're getting the boys back together. I was like, oh, they about to either be a big role in one of these movies, or they might get a spinoff.
Well, aren't they in the comics? Like, aren't they the original Guardians?
Volume 3.
Yeah, I was saying they might just have a big role in a different Marvel movie.
So, last thing. I know we're about to sign off. So, is Nebula? Do you think Nebula is going to replace Gamora in the Guardians now?
That's part of the team. I don't know.
I think that's what's going to happen.
I think so too.
That'd be cool.
We'll see.
There was things that I can't hold it against the movie, but like I want Peter Quill to eventually make it back to Earth. I don't know if that's just me, but I always thought it'd be cool if after 30 some odd years he ended up back on Earth and all of this and got an iPod and threw the Zune away. And then what else? I probably won't think of it while we're recording. There was something else I wanted that didn't happen. And yeah, I can't think of it. But it'd have been something that I thought was cool, but it didn't happen. And I can't hold it against the movie, man. But just round the horn one last time. Anybody got anything else to add?
Yeah, real dope movie, man. Can't wait for the next one.
Yeah, man. So just like, subscribe, comment. We had fun doing this, man. I hope y'all have fun watching it, man. You want to reach out to me or any of my dudes on the social medias, man, watch these credits. Peace.